Excuse me?
Number 67.
What'd you say?
I said, fuck you, man.
No, you didn't.
I did.
That's definitely not what you said.
It's been boiling over for the longest time, and I finally just said, fuck you, Andrew.
Okay. I'm seated. I'm ready to go. Ready to do this. Where you at? You at your parents' house right now?
So we are. There's a little bit of a Lumpkin family function going on.
Oh, that's gay.
Yeah, so we were in the pool being all gay.
Pants on, or?
Some pants were on.
Okay.
And all pants were on.
Yeah.
I was trying to sound cool, but it sounded not as cool as I thought.
Yeah, how's the water? Is it cold? You feel good?
Oh, my dad, in the fucking hottest part of the summer and the hottest part on record of Temecula, decided to heat the pool.
Wow.
So the whole pool is like a jacuzzi, pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is out here. So great job, Big John.
Great job, Big John. I was in Parker last weekend for the 4th, and then kind of walking into the weekend, and there was a monsoon. It was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's monsoon season out here in the desert. That's for sure. You can see like these huge ominous clouds on their way, like the beginning of James and the Giant Peach. And you're like, oh no, how's my car? My car's good. All right, we're good. It's gonna get dumped on or whatever, and just. We live right next to like this little gutter that floods pretty bad. So if I park in front of it and it's flooding and I have to leave, I'm like, dude, I gotta get like boots on just to get into my car. This sucks. But yeah, monsoon season is kind of nice because it drops the temperature about 10 degrees, which is pretty much all the difference out here.
So you drop right into like the 105 region?
Yeah, and then I just start rubbing my nipples everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you were telling me about this home run derby pool you have going on at Yelp.
$10 a player, right? I pulled Bryce Harper. I got the hometown hero.
Pull. It's a good pull.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lucky draw, luck of the draw, pick of the hat.
Yeah, I mean, it's not his golden season by any means, but I think he might turn it around with this derby.
I mean, he's a strong, young, strapping man. He's going to hit on someone. He's going to get some dingers, and hopefully all of the dingers.
He's a young go-hard?
He's a young go-hard. Guy's a rocket, let's be honest. It's a man rocket, that's for sure.
I like it.
No, but Max Muncy is definitely not. He's a beaut for sure. Like Max Muncy is like a guy. On August 1st, it's Dollar Dodger Day, Dodger Dog Day, and I guarantee you they healthy scratch him for the day because he's gonna be slamming dogs.
Just eating dogs.
It's yelling at Ryan Ludwig.
He's pretty quick on his feet for the dad body sports.
Yeah, man, he's playing
second base, making plays, beating throws out down the line.
Yeah, he's like the panda. He's like the more athletic panda guy. What's his name? Sandoval.
Pablo Sandoval.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of him with how he can move his big body.
Yeah. I hear you. He hit a bomb yesterday against the Angels. Right after I read that he's in the Derby, he goes up and hits a bomb.
Dings. He likes those cutters.
22nd before the break. Watch him. What I was telling my buddy Ron the other day is like, watch him hit more dingers than Bellinger did last year, and it'd be like the most Joe Schmo guy to just like beat our best rookie in the last couple of years,
Yeah, some guy that was like, oh yeah, I started playing baseball about 6 months ago.
I was a big fantasy baseball guy, and then I picked up a bat for the first time. He looks like the best fantasy baseball player in like the state. Like he looks like he owns fantasy baseball, not real baseball, because of that little beer gut he's got going.
Yeah, definitely. He looks like he's like a used car salesman on the daytime, and he like crushes fantasy baseball.
Slap the roof of the car.
It'd be funny if he didn't even know what baseball was. Came over here, saw it on TV at like a bar, and was like, "What's that? Oh, I could do something like that." Yeah, I think we're the hottest team right now. I mean, in the NL, you got some ridiculous teams in the AL, dude. It's crazy how many.
Dude, the AL is making us look so bad this year. They make us look bad every All-Star game, but like this year, like regular season, it's like, oh, so AL's winning the World Series, cool. NL might not show up.
Yeah, like why even have an NL tournament? Just like have an AL tournament. Everybody just in the AL gets in. Like I think if I just saw the record, Boston is 67-30. Like that's stupid.
Yeah. like more than 2 out of 3 times. Like if you're a Boston fan, you turn on TV and like seeing them win. You know?
Yeah,
like,
everybody's just hitting two, and they're always scoring runs. And Boston's like, they never have a down year. There's always a sport that's in contention or like actually in the championship. Not even like made the playoffs. Every one of their sport like makes the playoffs, but they're always like, oh yeah, that team won it this year. I mean, Celtics have the most championships of all time. Boston's like original 6, so they're up there right there. Like the Montreal and them have like the historical rivalry. You got the Patriots with Tom Brady and their elite like just dynasty forever.
I feel like you can be like if you're a fan of Boston sports, if like your favorite sport is sucking, you can be like, well, at least the Pats got my back. Like
yeah, right. No matter what. But seriously though, like the one thing they had was like a baseball curse. Like fuck you, you're never gonna win this shit, and that broke. You're like, oh yeah, now life everything's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think about so? You know when everyone says like, "Hey, Mike Trout's the best player in the league, hands down." What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, you don't ask the questions on this show, bud. I'm here to. I'm the one to answer that. I ask the question. Shit. I'm gonna ask myself. 7
Miller Lights deep. I will ask any question I want.
7 mils.
Yes, I love you.
I'm gonna ask myself that question right now just to make sure I can answer it. So what would I say about that? I don't know. I mean, think about it. He's probably like the best well-rounded baseball player of all time. Like any era, name a player that like.
No way, not of all time. Not of all time.
And any like put him back in like the Babe Ruth era. That guy's gonna go crazy. He's like a freak athlete. Like any era he goes in there, and I mean he hasn't proven himself to be best of all time ever. I'm just saying with his athletic ability and like what he can do, like he's the craziest athlete in baseball of all time.
I don't know. I think it's kind of like a trendy thing to say that gets adopted more than it should. So like you compare him to Mookie Betts, like there's at least not that much difference. Like Mookie Betts might be second fiddle to him, but like offensive numbers wise, there's not much difference. And the only remaining factor is like, oh yeah, this guy robs home runs more than Mookie.
Over a small wall.
Yeah, well, no, I'm talking about Trout right now. He robbed.
Yeah, I know, over a small wall in the Angels.
Well, Angel Stadium's wall is like normal size. I don't know. I always get in that argument with Weber, and I always feel like there's like a comparable player at the time to be like. A couple years ago, I was like, yeah, I think Josh Donaldson's as good as Trout at the time, and over like the last 5 years, he's probably the best overall. But like. If you go on Baseball Reference and look his stats up, I feel like it's pretty run-of-the-mill great player. Not run-of-the-mill player, but run-of-the-mill great player.
The fuck does that even mean, John? Run-of-the-mill, best of all time.
Right. Imagine, like... Right,
he's like your run-of-the-mill top 10 best of all time.
60% of the time, all the time.
60. He's your run of the mill great player. So there's a big. So in your idea, I think I understand you. In your idea, there's a big pool of like great players that can affect any team immediately, and he's one of them. But like he doesn't stand out as like in your mind as the greatest of all time ever. You can't put that staple on him, but he's a great athlete.
Well, baseball's that kind of sport. So think before Mike Trout. You can even grab the last like 20 years before Mike Trout. Was there ever a guy where everyone's like, oh yeah, he's the best player in baseball. He's the best player in baseball. Like at any time, like when we were growing up,
Rodriguez,
you had like
Griffey,
Griffey, Sosa,
Rodriguez,
and those were like the mashers. But you had like the good fielders too. But no one was like, hey man, McGuire's the best player in baseball. But like now Trout comes around, he hits 310. Hits 35 bombs, knocks in fucking 105, and rob some home runs, and all of a sudden he's the undisputed.
But he steals bases.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But he's undisputed. Like, I don't know. I kind of buy into it just because he does everything, and he could probably play any position if he really wanted to. But you put him in the outfield because he's like the best center you can get, right? And he covers that outfield, covers that ground. But I don't know. I just think all around best player, right? The only thing he's missing is switch hitting. That's the only thing.
No, the only thing he's missing is a fucking haircut. He rocks him down, and I like Mike Trout.
Except for his haircut.
He's great in the media. He's obviously fucking awesome on the field. Wish he was on the Dodgers. But he always, like, that's the one thing that he does out of line is, like, rock some stupid-ass mohawk.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, good thing he has a baseball cap on when he plays.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to knock on the guy. I honestly think he's probably, like, he's the best player right now, but not by as far of a margin as everyone else thinks. I don't know, man. He's always, I mean, it's all about consistency too. Like, what? Just keep watching him, and like, we'll see what he does. But he's not on a team where he's not doing anything like the Yankees were, where they win like 5 straight or some crazy shit. Like, he's just a great player on an average team. Well, I mean, the reason I brought it up is because we were talking about the Sox, and I think Mookie Betts is maybe not as consistently awesome as Mike Trout, but he's fucking right there to the point where it's like I wouldn't just default Mike Trout's the best player in baseball. Like, I feel like Mookie Betts does almost everything the same as Mike Trout, and if not better at the plate.
Dude, sorry to jump in there. Dude, I think the Dodgers just tied it up, bottom of the ninth.
I got an update on my phone. It's Grandal
single, brought home Utley, Grandpa Utley. Did you see how he started the press conference yesterday?
No, I didn't watch it.
Dude, he started the press conference by saying he signed a 5-year extension. That was funny. Yeah.
Yo, look, I gotta tell you something about yesterday. So, like, so remember when I tried to get you hired on at Worldwide Express with Steve?
And I wasn't the biggest fan of Steve, but right. Yeah, whatever. So be it. I mean, we had to.
So you might enjoy this little story. It happened yesterday.
Okay.
So Worldwide Express is a broker or third-party logistics company of actual companies that do freight. So, like, we have 70 companies that move, like, pallets of shit, and then we have a partnership with UPS that ship, right?
So fucking bored right now. Yeah, keep going.
Oh, it's extremely boring.
This is so entertaining, and my fans love this, right? My 6 followers.
There was enough room for my dumbass to get hired. That's the kind of industry it was. So anyway, my point being, I've been trying to get a job with this company, Daylight Transport. They're a really good carrier that partners with my shitty company.
Only during the daytime, obviously, by the name.
Nighttime that they shut it down. But
that's the worst freight company ever.
So like the guy that's gonna hire me, he's been on vacation for the last 2 weeks for the summer, 4th of July or whatever. So he calls me yesterday, and Steve is sitting in my passenger seat of my truck as I'm trying to merge on the 405. And I see this dude calling me who's trying to hire me away from my company. And I look at it ring for like 3 or 4 rings. I'm like, fuck, I'm just going to pick it up. What's up, Josh?
In front of your boss?
Yeah, dude. I like kind of fucked up, but I kind of didn't care. So, like, I'm having this conversation about getting hired on at Daylight, like, 18 inches away from Steve. Jesus, dude. I know, it was sketchy, but, like, I was waiting for the call for, like, 2 weeks because the guy's been on vacation. And I just, like, didn't want to wait anymore, and I didn't want to, like, have to try to call him back and, like, have him not pick up or whatever. So I just picked up, and he basically said, like, hey, man, let's meet one more time. If you have any more questions, you can ask me, but we're really excited to bring you onto the team. So it's basically saying, like, hey, like, come meet me at Panera on Tuesday, and, like, I think he's going to have an offer kind of deal. That's kind of how the conversation went. And I'm having this conversation, but, like, trying to mask it, like, to my boss who's sitting, like, right by me. And at the end, I just hang up the phone. I'm just like, "Oh yeah, man, that was that dude from Florida. I'm gonna close that deal next week."
Oh my god!
Completely bullshitted. but like Steve's dumbass like ate it up. He's like, oh, that's
yeah. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I have the TPS report on my desk on Monday. Sounds good. So dumb.
That was just kind of funny, man.
That's
like,
funny, dude.
I thought I would bring it up.
Yeah, how come like companies always take, like, when you have to meet up for an interview, they always take it to the lamest like places to meet, like some trendy little coffee shop or Panera Bread. It's like, God, can we go to like a barbecue restaurant and just eat some ribs and talk about some shit? Or take me to sushi? Jeez, I'm trying to get hired here.
Well, especially in like outside sales where like basically what that tells me is this dude has like lived off Panera his whole outside sales career. Cause he's like, he knows where all the Paneras are.
Yeah, so there's one, okay, where are you? You're in Brea? Okay, you're in, Tustin? Okay, there's one on the corner of Main and 6th Street in Tustin.
That's exactly what he did. This guy, he manages like 12 people that I would like become a part of, right?
Yeah.
And he works out of Carlsbad, so when he called me the first time, so we're going back to the same Panera where I first met him, and he's just like, oh, yeah, so where's your office? I was like, yeah, right off the 55 in Edinburgh, like in Tustin/Irvine. He's like, oh, yeah, dude, right there by the district, there's a Panera. Meet me there at 7. I'm like,
dude,
I'm like,
actually, I'm good. I don't need this job anymore, man. If you would have said In-N-Out, I would have been all over this job. You said Panera, right? Dude. I'm good on your little sunflower salad, dude.
Meet me in some dirt field with a 6-pack of Bud Heavies. I'm in.
Bring some wood and a lighter.
Let me punch you right in the face.
You're like sworn into the company. There's only 12 of us in this company. It's a startup, so we're gonna bring you in like a group.
They like have to jump you in. Like I would strangely be down with a company that like jumps in its employees.
They just like, it's a body shot though. They don't like beat your face up, but they just give you welts over your body. Your first week, you're just sore and like swollen and bruised in your torso. I want, when I get back to you, I want to hear your thoughts on the fights from I think it was last weekend. I heard there was a big knockout, but don't jump in yet because our listeners can't hear you. Our 6 followers. Oh my goodness, I sent it. All right, you're back. Can you hear me now?
We're back.
All right, so DC gets knocked out.
No, wrong.
Just kidding. We're not back. Are we back? All right. No.
Was that a drunk test for John Carpenter? See how bad 7 Miller Lights hit me, or what?
No, that was moving too many parts too fast for Drew Taylor. Skip. No, I knew DC knocked out what the fuck's his name? Stipe, and I haven't seen the highlights yet. I'm still trying to get the highlights. They're hard to get on UFC. They make it that way.
Just go on Instagram. Fucker.
No, dude, I don't do Instagram, man. I'm not doing that.
Ganja Do ain't doing that.
I don't do Instagram. Ganja Do does Instagram, I think. I don't think I have an Instagram for Ganja Do. But yeah, what was the fight like? What'd you think about it? That fight in particular.
So I was down there. I just come back from the river and got all shithouse with your brother at Sharky's in Newport.
The fucking degenerates, dude.
Yeah, some degenerate shit, but we were all just having a good old time, I might say, and then watching these fights and. Well, you talking about the main fight or like just the card overall?
I want to know the main fight overall because that's pretty exciting. First round knockout, main card.
Yeah, the main fight it was pretty like so. I thought DC was winning the round, but they're both trading blows. Like nothing really went to the ground or anything. Stipe might have tried to clinch a couple times, but Cormier has had sneaky boxing his last couple fights, so I think he was kind of putting it on Stipe, and. Towards the end, it almost looked like Stipe was like, oh, let me just ride this out to the end of the round. And there must have been like maybe 50 seconds left or something. And Cormier popped him once with a left jab. Stipe went in to clinch up. Cormier pushed him off and then just caught him with a mean, like, short right hook. And Stipe just lights out, hit the canvas. Like, no defense. So, like, it was honestly like a clean knockout. Like, you probably didn't have to call it like a TKO. Like, DC could have walked over him and like walked to his side of the fucking ring, and the ref still would have called it. Like, his hands never came up to fucking like Like,
Yeah.
never, like, survival mode, protect himself kind of deal.
Yeah, he was out then and there.
Yeah, but then DC walked, like kind of over him and dropped, like, 3 or 4 more fucking quick shots while his hands are just, like, twitching at his, like, belt, you know? Like,
Gotta love it. Oh my god, dude.
he got fucking smoked.
It's funny though. It's funny if you think about it, like how quickly people change. Like you're like wanting to see that knockout, and then once that knockout happens, you're like, all right, that's it. That's all I want to see. That's all I want to see. That's all I want to see. And you don't want to see any more after that. There's a thin line. And once it's crossed, you're like, yeah, I feel kind of ashamed of myself for cheering after that knockout.
Oh yeah, I mean it's pretty brutal. Like the gloves are there, but like.
No.
I mean, it's a sport that has gloves and someone's still getting hammered on while they're KO'd. It's not like boxing. Like, you get smashed like that in boxing, like, you got your 10 count to get up.
Yeah.
You know, like, but UFC is just like, that guy might be knocked out, but the ref didn't call it, so I'm going to beat his face into oblivion.
Yeah, like lights out a lot quicker. I mean, unless you're Mike Tyson, right? But I mean, that's what I'm saying. So it's just funny because of human nature. We're all just like, yeah, let's see a knockout. I want to see some submissions. The minute the guy's arm snaps or his ankle pops or the guy gets knocked out, we're all just instantly like, okay, that's enough. That's good. That's all I need. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I remember like in like middle school, like when we were like first seeing like our first like fist fights at school.
Yeah.
Like it was like the coolest thing to cheer on until it actually happened, and then I always got kind of like sick to my stomach. Like, holy shit! Like that guy's nose is bleeding, you know?
Oh, dude, what is his mom gonna think? Oh shit! Dude, he always wears that shirt. He can't wear it anymore.
I was such a softie, dude. Just like.
I know, every time there was a fight, like, I would always be like, I hope I don't have to get involved. I'm such a pussy, dude. I'm just like, nah, I'd rather not fight. I realized from a very early age that, really, if you think about it, fighting never, from that age on, like, never really solved anything at all, ever. It was just, like, more problems. Like, great, you beat up that kid. Now that kid's parents are pissed off at your parents, and the school's involved, and now...
And have a talk about MySpace.
Yeah. Cyberbullying. Your top 8 needs to be nicer.
So, I know you kind of got pissed at me for asking the questions earlier, but I'm gonna ask another one. So, the Friday card.
Just don't ask a question. Just you form a statement. Then just say a statement, and I'll answer it.
No questions, statements. Gotcha. So the Friday night card before the Saturday card was like the Ultimate Fighter finale. And this dude that I'm a huge fucking fan of, he's a New Zealand kickboxer. He's a black dude, Israel Adonesa, and he has a tattoo on his chest that says Broken Native. Have you seen that guy?
No.
Right on. All right.
I haven't seen him. Does he shop at Sprouts?
No, he goes down there to Barron's, though.
Oh, he's a Barron's guy, huh? No, I'm a more Sprouts around Indian School in Hayden there, okay? Oh, no, Miller in Hayden, sorry.
So anyway, he fights this dude Brad Tavares on the finale of the Ultimate Fighter card. Yeah. And it was supposed to be like a good fight, like the odds were pretty even up or whatever, and Israel just fucked him up, dude. cut the pieces for 5 rounds. Got a huge like majority decision, I think. It might have been a late round stoppage. I don't think it was though. But so Schaub goes on his podcast. You know Brendan Schaub, right?
Dude, he's awesome. I want to see him live and do comedy. I want to see his comedy, but yeah.
Yeah, I love Schaub. So Schaub posts something on his Instagram and he starts talking about a fight that was on the Saturday card and saying how kickboxers don't really translate that well to the UFC, and he was talking about this dude Gokhan Saki, who got his fucking ass kicked on the Saturday card. But he was talking about kickboxers, which Israel used to do. So Israel like posts something on his own Instagram, like posting a clip of Schaub's podcast, and kind of just jokes about it, saying like, "What are you talking about? Like, shh, like be quiet," kind of thing to Brendan Schaub. But it was pretty mild mannered.
Yeah.
And then, so Dana White comments on Israel's post on Instagram, says, "Don't ever listen to that fucking idiot Brendan Schaub. He went fucking 10-7 in the UFC. You're gonna be so much better. You have such a higher ceiling. Don't listen to that fucking retard." All this shit.
Wow.
So Schaub and Dana got into it in the comments of Israel's post. And that was, I don't know if you follow Shab on Instagram, but he posted some long, like, picture of a paragraph that he had typed out, like, talking mad shit on Dana White, saying, like, yeah, I get it, DW, like, Joe Rogan really helped me out with my career, but the Fertittas helped your career out way more. And he had some zingers. He was like, if you didn't get that loan from the Fertittas, you'd be a fucking 45-year-old cardio kickboxing coach in Boston, you fucking loser. Like, and he called them Eskimo brothers with Dana White. He was like, you shouldn't talk that way to an Eskimo brother.
So he banged Rhonda?
Yeah, right? Like, he was talking mad shit. It was just saucy. It was funny to me because I like Shab, and I kind of like Dana.
I like Dana too, man.
I like Shab more than Dana, but I think Dana does a good job at what he does, and he can be a little bit of a control freak or whatever, like from a fan's perspective.
Yeah.
But I think he pumps the sport. But just the fucking back and forth between them, I wanted to talk to you specifically about it, just because I know you listen to Rogan and you know Shab pretty well.
Yeah, so. He's a funny guy, and he has some pretty good points. Like there was just recently Shab was talking. Chael Sonnen was talking crap on Shab, and I saw the clip, and I watched it on YouTube of them talking back and forth. There's just so much of it out there, dude. Like at the end of the day, when I think about it, I can listen to it to a certain point, and like I'm like at my point already. From when you start talking about the beef online, I'm already at the point of like 2 minutes, 3 minutes in, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to dive in anymore. It's all online, other than like for marketing and using social media to get into people so they can see your creativity and your fun quickly and a fast like a mass rate. Like other than that, it's so negative. Like I don't even give a shit about any of it. Like I don't care what you said about me online. Like it's online, dude. It's such a waste of energy. If you say that to my face and you come at me heated with that angle, then yeah, we're gonna have to do something about it. But I don't have the energy or the time to like focus on Instagram and Twitter and follow people and like dive into what they have to say every minute, which is super stupid because I'm trying to get more people to follow this and I think it's fun. But like at the end of the day, I follow what I like, and if my friends started a podcast, I probably would follow it and listen to it. You know what I mean? Like if they started doing it on their own, I'd probably do that. But right now, Joe Rogan has a good podcast. And a couple other people I listened to, and I started reading again, like a lot more again, fiction. So, like when it comes down to Brendan and Dana, like it's just like another pissing match. You know what I mean? Like online, who can come up with the better zingers on their fall? And at the end of the day, it's like Fox and CNN. It doesn't really even matter. Like, okay, you're appealing to your audience, so like whenever you have a zinger, they're all like, "Oh, that was a burn," and then when the other opponent has a zinger, everyone's just like, "Oh, that wasn't even that bad," and then boom, the other person comes with a zinger, and they're back to like, "Oh." It doesn't matter what side you're on, who you like more. It's just like they're just like a pissing match online, and you're just sitting there watching like a tennis match, watching the ball bounce back and forth.
Dude, I think the worst example of that is just straight up like Democrats and liberals. I mean, sorry, I fucked that up. I've been drinking. Sorry, like liberals and conservatives, or Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, I got you.
No matter like how deep you are into it, like if you're posting on social media about it. Like, if someone comes up with a good liberal burn and you're a Democrat, like, you share it online and, like, 80% of your friends fucking love it, but your 20% conservative friends are like, that's bullshit. I'm going to post something that makes my side look cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, it can even be, like, the same issue, but just spun a different way by some fucking media source that, like, your back, you know?
Yeah, it's just all about, it's all just a matter of like, what's your source, what's your angle, what's your interest, you know? But with politics, social media is tricky, man, because like, I forget how it works, I'm not in on it, but like there is something about having your personal influence, like your personal status, and involving in your social, your political status online. Like you have to have a complete separate account or something like that, and like you're not supposed to. It's people. There's this story of this girl in like Alaska or something like that who tried to change law, and she got like in trouble, and she owes a bunch of money for like using her social media to reach her constituents and stuff like that. So it's like there's like a bunch of rules against using social media just to like mass get your constituents to vote for you. It's fucking crazy.
I know there was a thing that a bunch of people freaked out about, and it was more of like a Facebook marketing thing. but like if you go deep in your settings, and you can look up online how to do it, but I forget exactly how, but you can look and Facebook labels you as like conservative or mildly conservative or mildly liberal or super liberal.
So awful. I hate this.
Like people were freaking out about it. I don't have a huge problem with it because it basically related to like what kind of ads they wanted to push to you. So like my thing was like, okay, like Facebook, I understand why you're doing it, but why are you making it accessible to the public? Like, why don't you just like have some like a fucking big board, like a fucking draft board in your office, be like, hey man, this guy loves fucking ads about
because it's a talking point. Wait, say that again. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Like you just have your shit. Damn it, I cut you off. I'm so sorry, but it bugs me, man. I'm just like, I don't care. It's so like Facebook publishes it so they can get more people to talk about it and be upset about it, and then like they just become the more I don't know. Any press is good press kind of shit. Crazy in the shit of it. Hey, have you been watching the World Cup at all?
Oh yeah, I'm all into it, dude. I didn't think you would be that into it.
I'm totally into it.
Calhoun just hit a solo dinger, I guess. Go up in the 10th.
Dude, Calhoun. Let me pause right there. Calhoun is okay. That if you look at that guy, there's no but that guy should only be named Cole. Cole Calhoun is that guy's name. He looks like a Cole Calhoun.
Yeah, he does.
His parents did a good job. Anyways, so back to the World Cup. I'm a huge fan of it. Fell in love with it. Kind of want to watch the English Premier League now and be in tune with the new sport because it's so. Soccer is really pretty. What do you think of the finals tomorrow? France and Croatia.
My heart wants Croatia. My head thinks France. You know.
I'm right there with you, bud.
Yeah, I ran a whole big ass bracket, 25 people. I made it myself on like Excel.
Oh, fun.
Hold on, I don't know if you want to pause it, but I'm taking a leak right now.
No, that's pretty funny. Oh, there's Calhoun's bomb. Hilarious, dude.
But yeah, I ran a whole big ass bracket. The fucking Stephen Beaudry just won this morning because he was down by 1 point, but he had Belgium winning the consolation match and France winning the championship, and Belgium won this morning, obviously. And so that locked it up for him, so he's winning 500 bones.
500?
Yeah, I didn't know you liked this so much. I would have invited you. I invited Evan, and he said he was down and didn't.
At the beginning, I didn't like it. I didn't catch the first round of group play, and then I started watching because I was like, "Fuck it, dude!" Like the whole world's watching this, and then I started tuning in, and I was like, "Oh, this is why." I like FIFA. I like playing the game, and I love the game. I used to play soccer. Also, I watched a lot of women's soccer. Never really watched a bunch of men's, and then watched this. It was like, dude, this is cool how they're pressing the play, and then there's a line that a defense will pull itself back to, and they're like, nope, you can't get past this. This is where we're boxing up, and then, I mean, there were so many good games too.
Offside. That's one of my favorite plays is when the fucking the defenders like trap someone offside.
Yeah.
Right before the pass, and they both sprint up to catch the dude offsides. Like I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a neat play. I like the through balls and people catching it with their midsection. I just like the athleticism so cool. Now, what I don't like is, so when France got in and to beat who did France beat? They beat Belgium. They beat Belgium, who just won today. They beat Belgium, and there's at the end this guy goes down and has like a problem, and he's down for like 6 minutes, and then he's down again a little bit later for like 4 more. Like the guy successfully.
I was pissed watching that game.
So for my thing, and listen, like this soccer, Americans have to realize soccer goes a lot deeper than America, right? So it's going to be different culture for like the World Cup, and like, you know, bringing in replay, that was totally different for everybody around the world. That was never done before, and we do replay a lot in America because we have the technology to do so, but these other countries don't, so that was new for them. But like, what I don't like is the theatrics right? It's a team game. Guys in hockey don't like shootouts because they don't like it to come down to one person, right? They want it to be a team finish. Just like PKs, I guarantee you, soccer fans, in soccer there's a debate about PKs and how it's not really finishing with the team finish. I think when a person goes down and just like acts hurt and is totally being a phony and I get it. Like when you get your foot stepped on by a cleat or you're not wearing a lot of padding and you go up for a header and you fall all the way to your ass, you're gonna be in pain. Take a second, get up, get back into play, and keep going, right? But when you're faking it, like just to kill time, it comes to a point where you're like, dude, just stop the clock. Stop incentivizing these guys to kill clock, or just make extra time a lot longer. Because my buddy was like, I was watching it with him. He's a high level soccer player. I was like, they're gonna give him like 10, 15 minutes of extra. He's like, nah, they won't give him more than 6. And sure enough, they threw 6 on the clock, and that's what they ended with, 6. And I was like, well, damn, that guy that he did all the theatrics that stopped the game and made the whole game about him and his performance that we all watched for like 10, 15 minutes, like he won because
he shortened the actual game.
Yeah, he shortened the game by like 8 minutes. I don't know, I don't know exactly how much, but it seemed like he was on the ground way longer than I saw extra soccer being played, and I was like, that's something fundamentally wrong right there. Like, I'm here to watch people play. I'm not here to watch this guy song and dance. Fucking stop the clock and let's watch a game.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I understand, like, back in the day how that might have been made more sense to have a running clock, and this is World Games, so you can't make these, like, really abrupt changes to it because there's so many leagues that are high level around this game.
Yeah.
But I was talking to Weber about this, and I was basically saying to just make it a stop clock. If someone goes down, stop the clock. If the ball goes out of bounds, stop the clock. If it's stopped for any reason, stop the clock, just like fucking hockey, and then get rid of extra time. Have it be finite, man. Like, I think that, like,
I mean, I don't know. See, here's the thing, John. Remember, like, we're dealing with like a whole different realm here. When MLS, we can like talk about the MLS rules. I don't know enough about the MLS, but like, yeah, that's American culture, right? People love extra time. You got to find a way to keep extra time if you want to satisfy the rest of the world, but like limit it to a stoppage in clock and stuff like that, because I don't know. There's going to be opposing people to that rule. I don't know their arguments as much because I'm so new to being a fan of the sport. But I have to think that people in other countries who have watched this sport for 40 years are going to have a problem with like just stopping the clock and getting rid of extra time.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's one of those problems that like I don't really sympathize for you about. Like if you're on the like the perspective you just said, because like, stoppage time is supposed to make up for the time where people were rolling around on the ground or the ball was out of bounds, right? And if you stop the clock at that time and then just don't have extra time, it's like, hey, man, like, we're making this fair for everybody. It's not up to the ref to, like, say, hey, well, there's still a fucking play going, so even though we only gave you 7 minutes of stoppage time, we're going to let it go to 7:30 because you're fucking setting up, you know, on the side of the field.
I was just like, I'm just like, that's too much change to the rules. It's just like, when somebody is that hurt and they have to bring a fucking cart out to get him out of there, or he's down, or he falls down again. All right, stop the clock, get him off. Like, hurry it up, let's go. And then add 3 to 4 minutes. Like, keep the clock running if you have to, but like, stop it on extreme situations where this person is clearly, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, my main thing, just to get in my like last 2 cents on it, like the main perpetrators are so fucking obvious. Like Luis Suarez, one of them. And Neymar is a big one that he got more exposed this World Cup for milking the clock. But like, I was watching Suarez in the game versus Portugal, I think, and he was holding onto his head after going up for a header, and basically was insinuating that the Portugal dude bopped him on the head or whatever. So he's on the ground the entire time down by the Portugal, down by like the Portugal net where the Portugal keeper is. And then the game goes way back over to the Uruguay net, and Portugal almost scored, and Suarez is still on his back, like holding his head on the complete other side of the field.
He's not doing anything.
Right, and it's like, so he's trying to get a call, obviously, but they show the replay and he doesn't get hit in the head at all. in any way. And it's like, okay, dude, your theatrics didn't get a call in the first 10 seconds, but you decided to stay on the ground for a minute, and you put your team at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
I think that's like the most pussy shit ever. Like, I understand the culture. You're trying to get a call, hold on to a body part that might have not got hit or hit as hard as it really did, and you're trying to help your team out. But the second that the refs aren't giving you a call, get your fucking ass up and play the game. And that's just something like Clint Dempsey is a badass about it. We didn't make the World Cup this year, but the last World Cup, I forget what happened, but he got like a broken nose. And like 10 minutes later, some dude was like holding his ankle after Dempsey might have like elbowed him in the ribs. And you see you see it plain as day. Dempsey goes, "Get the fuck up, dude."
I love when you can tell people, like, you just clear as day read somebody's lips.
Yeah, right. I don't know, man. Like that's the thing for me. Is like the second you start hurting your team with your theatrics, like, just get the fuck up.
Yeah, there's another. It was funny you say that, because it was actually during this last game I was watching, I think, between France and Belgium, or I don't know which game it actually was, but some guy wearing white was down on the ground, and they were like, he was like part of the back line, and they were like pressuring, so the whole team was, all 11 guys were like way back in the defensive zone, and the other team was totally pressuring, and one guy goes down and is not getting a call, and he's just like laying there, and the other team's like passing it around to the point, and I was thinking, like, can you imagine if like a guy in a power play just was like laying down on the ground hurt while the other team's passing it around, and then they go back into the replay, and the guy on the ground, like, nothing, even no stick hit him in the face or anything like that, and he's just laying around rolling like a little bitch, like,
they literally put him on a fucking crucifix of hockey sticks, like he'd be dead.
Yeah, I just was like, I can't fathom. I don't know like how you can go into your plane or in your locker room or in your mansion and be like, yeah, I'm a dope soccer player and I'm also an actor. It's like, fuck off, dude. Like, I'm such a different mentality. I just don't get it. And it's funny how soccer players are always a little bit more brutal, a little more grungy. And soccer players, I feel like, are always a little bit more finesse and a little bit more, like, I don't know, bougie.
Yeah, it's just the culture around it, man. Like, the thing is, too, like, the announcers, like, go with it almost, like, 100%. Like, most of the time, if you watch a replay and someone, like, doesn't get rocked in the nose, but they're holding their nose, like, the fucking pussy-ass announcer will be like, oh, yeah, he takes an elbow to the nose there. And it's like, dude, you fucking fags are, like, perpetuating it.
Yeah.
The second you start making fun of it, youth in the sport will be like, oh, man, I don't want to get clowned by the fucking broadcast, so I'm going to stop flailing around like a fucking douche. Like,
yeah, it's funny, dude. I agree. I think the you're like, dude, are you kidding me? You have access to instant replay right there on that monitor you're looking at to watch this damn game, dude. Watch that shit and call it out. My God. I listen to the Telemundo on, I don't know why, but like the only way I can get games on my phone is through the NBC Sports app, is through the Telemundo. So if I listen to the audio, it's like, it's the funniest audio. I can try to do an impression of it, but it's just gonna, like, I'm just gonna fumble words. It's so funny. They talk so fast though. Oh man. Yeah. Torna perché il mondo passa da muto, ora sarà molto muto, oh, mucho muove, non si metteva, come si mette, ora si mette muto, poi si mette, fosse molto puto, punto, it's like,
you work way harder than the fucking English-speaking announcers, I'll give you that.
I like Spanish. The way Spanish just sounds, it sounds so cool. I wish I spoke it.
It's a fucking pretty language, yeah.
It really is. Ours is like, I don't know, just stupid. It makes no sense. How can words spell something and have it look that way and then completely mean two different things? That is crazy.
Yeah. I gotcha.
What else we got here? I got about 5 more minutes. Maybe if they're trying to bounce, you could totally bounce. But
no, I'm alright.
I guess I was watching. I caught up on all the comedians in cars getting coffee on the new season. If you haven't caught that, some good watch.
I haven't seen it. I saw the thumbnail on Netflix, and it looked like fucking Alan. I think.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin. You have some Dave Chappelle. It's pretty good, Zach. It was pretty good. But have you seen the trailer for How It Ends? The movie that just came out on Netflix. It looks really fucking good, and I want to watch it. dude, it's like this post-apocalyptic movie that like you don't know what's gonna happen. It's like shows how the world's gonna end, and it's kind of like realistic, where like the power goes out, people have like no idea what's really going on. There's no answers, like, and then like. Yeah, it's kind of like anarchy. It sounds pretty fucking dope. Watch the trailer and try not to get erect.
I love post-apocalyptic shit, so I might get a little woody.
Yeah, dude, Book of Eli is my favorite porn.
No, that's Book of Sheila.
That's Book of She-Man. Yeah, well... have you even followed the YouTube or the SoundCloud for this podcast yet?
YouTube, yeah, not SoundCloud.
Yeah.
I was watching. The second I followed it, I listened to like half of your the one with Boyer and ET, and it was funny as fuck. But then I had to go to work, and then when I was driving from work to, I think like Tuesday Night Trivia or some shit, I played the one with you and your buddy in the Florida State gear.
Spence, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was just good smooth listening, you know.
Yeah, he was like, it was too stiff. It sounded like pretty stiff. I was like, dude, trust me. I probably could have loosened up with some goofy humor, but honestly, it was good sports talk. It was fun having it, and like, if people want to skip to the jokes, we talk plenty of funny stuff, and they just look at the description. But yeah, Brandon brought, or I think it was. I forget who it was, Kelly, who brought up a good point, or Brandon, my roommate Brandon, was like, yo, I was trying to listen while I was driving, but I can't, like, watch YouTube and drive, and, like, so he's like, can you do something else? And I was like, fuck yeah, I'll get SoundCloud, so if you're working and you're bored, you could definitely listen on your SoundCloud.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. I'm gonna rip off of this bitch, man. I'll talk to you soon. I'm gonna end it pretty kind of cut crisp.
Yeah, whatever, fuck you, man. Talk to you later.
Yeah, kiss my ass.
Later, fucker.